Welcome back, and let me give you some brand snippets from around the world now. And companies and organizations tapping into the doing good is good for business zeitgeist. The TBWA Buenos Aires agency creating a clever outdoor execution for insurance giant La Caja. The agency erecting billboards on some of Argentina's most dangerous roads that illuminates the road instead of the billboard itself. The slogan, "To see this bend is more important than seeing this billboard." United Way of Anchorage, a network of donors, community partners and volunteers that help kids who are on the verge of giving up, releasing an eye-catching series of videos encouraging the audience to look past the labels of those branded as bad kids and dropouts. And Elan Languages, an online translation tool, unveiling something it calls the Unbiased button. The plugin offers unbiased translations of biased words in a bid to create a more balanced world. The tool, for example, translates job titles to gender-neutral words. Take a look and let us know what you think of this initiative on our social media pages.
Elan Languages offers an online translation tool, a tool that now comes with a new feature. The Unbiased button gives unbiased translations of biased words, making us aware of our unconscious bias by translating cameraman to camera operator, mailman to mail carrier, businessman to business person. And even though the vast majority of biased words are negative towards women, the opposite is also true. So we also translate midwife to birth assistant. By using the Unbiased button, thousands of biased words in our database get an unbiased translation in English. With this button, we've done our small part to help create a gender-balanced world. Now it's up to the giants of our industry to follow suit. They still offer hundreds of thousands of biased words every day, putting up unnecessary barriers of inequality all over the world. So this is our rallying cry to them. Let's break the bias together.
Now, about 2 years ago, a project called the Next Rembrandt set out to fuel the conversation about the relationship between art and technology. It won a bunch of awards and got up the noses of the elite art fraternity. ING Bank and the J Walter Thompson Amsterdam agency are back and taking the project a step further by recreating the Dutch master's voice through artificial intelligence, and so doing allowing him to teach again for the first time in 350 years in his own voice.
You developed software for the FBI that can recreate a face from a voice recording, right?
Yes, that's right. We are working on recreating human faces from their voices.
Is it possible to do it the other way around, so to make a voice from a face?
Rembrandt van Rijn, an unparalleled artist and one of the greatest Dutch masters, excelled at the art of light and shadow as no other. But not everyone is aware that master also means teacher. And not everybody knows that Rembrandt devoted a great deal of his life to his pupils. Rembrandt taught famous painters, including Ferdinand Bol, Govert Flinck and Willem Drost. ING is pleased to join the Rijksmuseum in celebrating the Rembrandt Year as its proud main sponsor. And what better way to honor Rembrandt as a teacher than to bring him back to life so he can teach the world to paint like him. In 6 tutorials, Rembrandt teaches you how to paint one of his specialties, the portrait. We've analyzed everything that makes Rembrandt Rembrandt: his painting technique, his personality, his manner of speech, and his voice. But how did we bring back Rembrandt the teacher?
Rembrandt is a very well-known figure. We had been looking at recreating the human persona from voice, and we were not seriously thinking about recreating the voice from the face because we know it's a harder problem. It was certainly the obvious next step. We selected about a dozen of our most brilliant and creative students and formed think tanks and working groups. We were able to gauge the facial measurements from the portraits. The facial structure does tell you a lot about the structure of your skull. Knowing the structure of the skull, we might be able to deduce the size of his vocal chambers.
These regions here, it's the exact same as like the subglottal region.
We worked very closely with the historians and other experts to get as much information as possible about what kind of a person Rembrandt was. We had to design specific AI systems to impart the finer aspects of his voice. I believe at this point the rendering is good enough that if someone from Rembrandt's time who knew Rembrandt closely heard it, they just might be confused.
So 350 years after his last lesson, Rembrandt is teaching again.
Coming up, how a group of ad industry heavyweights plan to shake up the old ad industry operating model.